We were schoolmates, and I should have rhymed her name with Feathers, but that'd be better than if her name was Heather for the sake of effort, I suppose. You see, this morning it was actually she who might ask directions to Winston Avenue, and I nearly turned back when it looked as though nobody occupied the street other than buildings that didn't seem open yet, either for business or for months. I didn't dare show her the ring I got on the outlet. Zales, I think, and they almost begged me to buy it, like that was the only one of the date of sale that mattered. They didn't close shop or anything, and they didn't even want me to much money for it, and were explaining why, as if someone deciding the highway balance of their career and paycheck were within earshot. They just kind of pushed it into my arms once it was in the bag and went about their day like I wasn't even there a minute ago. Kooky. Needless to say, that was the first to take the signal the last time I shopped there. Boy, I tell you, I almost expected the place to be a ramshackle, abandoned shell as soon as I turned around. Of course, it wasn't, but I'm glad I did those folks an unintentional fluke of a favor and myself one, let alone having had the guts to even look Victoria in the eye and speak without stuttering like a stroke victim attempting a tongue twister of pig Latin. It did indeed encourage me to see her and even remotely express a flirtation. I know she's single. Lucky her place is the first house adjacent to this very avenue. I can almost smell her honeysuckle patterned dress and her strawberry blonde. Thank you. What? I haven't even gotten to her ditching her last boyfriend. Lester's hand had grown sweaty. He only noticed it when the gypsy took it out of her working, smoother hands of an omniscient observation. I said thank you. Your price shall be added up within the week. Wait, I wasn't finished describing. That's it? Yes. Save it for the vows. Leave the rest up to me. I'm happy for you that she isn't a complete stranger. Please return this hour next week, and I have a debt to fulfill for you. Think of me as a caseworker. Okay, I have questions, but that gives me time to think of more when I write them down with vows, huh? Maybe they'll answer each other. Something for both of you. The following week, feeling snazzy in a rented tux from not nearly as suspicious folks who gave Lester the opal, he felt almost bouncing on a spring with giddiness about his private wedding, yet still wanted to maintain the tradition of not seeing the bride before he stopped by Felix's bar just to share his excitement. I feel light as a heather. Wait. Lester, you're not even tipsy enough to leave me a tip, so if you'll please. Felix motioned to the jar whilst scrubbing a glass mug with a white dishcloth. And congratulations. I just hope she doesn't turn to the prime reason I have a cash cow's booming biz of moolah. Moolah. Little divorce pun joke there. See you before or after the wedding and honeymoon, I hope. Lester winked after leaving a tip without remembering if he even had a drink, so he was so quick to brag to somebody. On the way out, a napkin was framed for some reason that reminded folks, thanks for the small talk. He meant to ask about that at a more convenient time. He arrived promptly at the hut at the same hour as the previous week, with butterflies fluttering in his stomach to carry him in. To his confusion, he did not immediately see Victoria in a wedding gown. You are a loyal young man, punctual to my terms, arose Gypsy McCready's voice. Lester felt stung with disappointment. Figures, when Victoria wasn't. He turned around to leave, feeling growing spite. Oh, she was, McCready stated matter-of-factly. Was? How do you mean? Why isn't she here? His voice a tad angrier in every question. Your deed is done. You're married. Since when? That was why I returned. Don't confuse me with a game. Since I fetched her, as per your directions, as to her house and blurb about her leaving Jake. I said, don't confuse me. How do you know his name? Where did you fetch her? Lester started to feel panic emerging. McCready sighed and admitted, the opal ring, it belongs to me. Thanks for bringing it back to me. Its power is strange to those who attempt to house it. That's why those people were eager to get rid of it. And for that price, I lured you with it. To me, it's like a crystal orb to an ordinary seller, like a poltergeist scaring away creditors. That's what I was looked at during your confession. I saw what I did without needing you to finish. She betrayed the fragile value of her previous relationship. So when the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife. I've given you both what you deserved. You look like you deserve a marriage. She did look like she had another result coming. Gypsy McCready picked up a velvet sack on the seat opposite to their two the week before and handed it to him. Now hurry, she's waiting at the altar. What? Still? Where might that be? In her backyard, of course. Give me the ring. I've removed the sorcery. Thank you. No, please thank me later. Pleasure doing business with you. I hope to again. Good day. McCready pushed him out of the hut and closed the door. Lester shrugged in spite of himself and the ambiguity and headed to Virginia's house. At last he saw something formal, indeed, a large white oak altar, but no priest. I thought she would be. And nor Virginia in sight. All dressed up, but where do I go? Lester whispered to himself. He thought he might as well take a peek at the bag's contents. As he pulled open the puckered gate, he thought he felt something move within. Why would she set these up for me, just for me? His thought abruptly shattered upon quickly and simultaneously touching a finger within, yanking the bag of its contents with a feminine, proportional, dismembered hand with the glowing opal on her own ring finger. Lester shrieked in terror and dropped it immediately as she saw it clasping a dagger. In his shock, he didn't see for a moment until the realization of his misunderstood request, taken literally, had sunk in. He swooned and dropped to his knees, was probably only kept from fainting by a blood-curdling scream. The tilted ascus of his perception on the ground and not knowing why Gypsy McCready would pull such a cruel prank on anyone, kept from knowing whence nor wherefore Virginia herself appeared after all. Lester, that's what she did with my hand. Lester quickly regained his composure, not just as a gentleman, but as an unjustly set up one as that, even though he couldn't see straight like someone had flashed a camera in front of his eyes. He picked up the hand, its maroon stump caked with gore, and dropped the dagger, not a blood from it. Well, now it was Virginia's turn to fall from surprise. On top of her own stump, still jetting, sprang, tripping onto the grass down her arm. How she managed this long, it must have been more sorcery for mercy. Lester whipped out his phone and called an ambulance and waited, intending to leave the clean knife behind. McCready cleaned the knife? Through her burst of sputtering tears and regret and pain, Virginia explained, the dagger, she thought I would be a literal backstabber, but she didn't know. Jake and I... Shh, it's all right. I'll get you to a hospital. This is all my fault. I should have asked only you. I should have confided in you. No. I said Jake wasn't up front with me. McCready doesn't always understand phrases. Jake and I were mutually broken up. No kidding. She better not have done anything to him for that literal term. I have nothing against him. No, I refuse to tell her where he is. Shh, don't speak. I'll take care of you. Even if she does know where he is anyway, she may leave. the ambulance arrived, and on the way, in the final shred of her consciousness, Lester confessed his love for her and would have her hand probably surgically reattached and proposed again properly. Before the true wedding, Lester filed a police report, but Gypsy McCready's hut was nowhere to be found on Winston Avenue. Nor, suspiciously enough, did Jake Crane respond to his RSVP.